We are book crunchers, and in this video, we will be doing part 2 of the book Inside the Criminal Mind by Dr. Stanton E. Samanow. If you have missed part 1, the link is in the description box. In this video, we'll be doing chapters 5 and 6. Chapter 5: Work and the Criminal. Criminals approach work and education with similar thought process. At heart, they are anti-work. Some work rarely, if at all. Others hold jobs intermittently to appear respectable, meanwhile committing crimes under the nose of their employer. These individuals stick with the job until they become bored or until they suspect that the authorities are hot on their trail. Others hold a job for a long time and perform well. Securing a good reputation makes it easier for them to indulge in illicit activities without being suspected. For many criminals, to work is to become a slave. Rather than scrub floors, pick up trash, they prefer to remain unemployed. For some criminals, crime is their work. A criminal values his job mainly as an area for power seeking. He attains power at the expense of others and exercises it to further his own objectives. It is the routine of a job that gets to many criminals who seem allergic to routine anywhere in life. In order to overcome the tedium, some use drugs while at work. When the criminal is high, his day is bearable, for drugs help his mind soar from the mundane to the exciting. In addition, there's the intrigue of finding out which fellow workers are users too, identifying new sources for buying drugs, or discovering markets in which to make sales. Because he performs satisfactorily at his job, the criminal's drug use is unlikely to be noticed by management. In the unlikely event that the criminal is caught red-handed using drugs, his boss may advise him to seek treatment, perhaps at company expense. Why would a person successful in his profession take such risks? It goes back to the criminal's basic view of work being for slaves and suckers. Reaching the highest rung on the corporate ladder is not enough. Holding a trusted, esteemed position as a doctor, teacher, lawyer, or a financial advisor is not enough. Whatever legitimate rewards a criminal's job offers, they do not satisfy him. The criminal never has enough power, control, and excitement, which are the oxygen of his life. Over and over, he must demonstrate that he is cleverer, more capable, more ingenious than others. And so, he pursues his objectives by violating employer policies, breaking rules, and manipulating others into serving his own objectives. When Dr. Yokelson and Dr. Samanow conducted that original study of criminals from 1961 to 1978 at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington, D.C., among the questions they asked was, "When you were growing up, what sort of a job did you hope to have?" A significant number responded that they wanted to be a police officer. They were attracted by the symbols of power as well as the exercise of power. The attractions were the uniform, badge, fast police cruiser, the gun, and the ability to pursue and arrest bad guys. Their motives had nothing to do with serving the community and making it a safer place. By the very nature of their job, police officers have legitimate authority to enforce the laws. They are for the most part honest, dedicated to their work, and make personal sacrifices and endanger their lives to help others. However, a person with a criminal personality who becomes a police officer is likely to misuse the power he is entrusted with and becomes embroiled in conflict within the department as well as in the community. Chapter 6: Life is a one-way street. My way. Thinking errors and criminal personality. The criminal craves for power for his own sake, and he will do almost anything to acquire it. To him, the world is a chessboard, with other people serving as his pawns. He is constantly sizing up his prospects for exploiting people and situations. The criminal expects to prevail in every situation. He considers himself the hub of the wheel, never one of the spokes. The criminal's attitude toward people is mercurial, depending on whether they are of use to him at the moment. They are like property. His secrecy offers him great advantage and provides him with a sense of power. The criminal's appetite for conquest can be temporarily appeased, but never satisfied. Larry and Trevor made headlines for committing murder. Larry, a middle school dropout, was raised by a single mother in an impoverished minority neighborhood. Trevor, a college student, grew up in a suburb raised by two parents amid affluence. Whereas the two young men share little in common in terms of family background, their thinking patterns and personalities are similar. Larry and Trevor provide examples of the following: the lack of concept of injury to others, claiming to be a victim and blaming others when held accountable, an ability to shut off conscience, an extreme sense of entitlement, a sense of uniqueness, an ability to shut off fear. Rarely do criminals think about the impact of their behavior. Criminals often blame their victims for being careless and provocative. If he had locked the door, I could not have gone into his house. She left the key in the car. That was an invitation to take it. These words came from the criminals when they were apprehended by the police. Criminals do not justify their crimes before committing them. They formulate their objective, decide how to pursue it, consider the chances of being caught, then strike. There's excitement in every phase of crime. Contemplating the end result, planning the crime, executing it, making the getaway, reveling in the success, eluding the police, and relishing the publicity that may attend the crime. Even when the criminal is caught, the excitement may not end. He now has to beat the system. There may be many people to outwit, among them police officers, detectives, mental health professionals, court service workers, and his own attorney. Justifications for what he did come into play after he has been apprehended and is held accountable. Criminals know the potential consequences of the crimes. There's also potential for being injured or killed during a high-risk crime. Criminals have a chilling capacity to eliminate from their thinking all these risks when they are poised to act. Their ability to shut off fear is so precise, it's like turning off a switch. In contrast, most responsible people have no need to shut off such fears because they are not contemplating committing crime. In fact, the reverse is true. We experience fear and allow it to be a guide, so we do not take imprudent risks and jeopardize our health and safety. Fear can be an ally or our enemy.